Please be seated now. Our service is about to begin. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Jersey Shore, a welcoming and inclusive faith community. We kindly ask that you turn off your cell phones. Our service is open to all visitors, friends, and members. Whether you are single, partnered, or a family of any type, we welcome you. Whether you are here in the sanctuary with us, watching live online, or on demand, may our time together be one of learning and celebration. My name is Jack Nemes. I am your worship associate this morning. Our service today is led by Minister Dana N. Moore. When not nurturing her two beautiful children, Dana is committed to a social justice warrior through her ministry with youth and young adults. Dana is a member of the UU congregation at Mount Clair and professional religious educator at Beacon UU congregation in Summit. In her daily work, Dana journeys with visionary leaders and business owners, helping them to overcome leadership challenges, building strong teams and systems for success. As a second-year seminary student at Starr King School for the Ministry, one of only two UU theological schools across the globe, Dana is the recipient of the John Burins and St. Lawrence scholarships. She delights in studying feminine leadership and world religion. After serving as the 2022 summer camp director and coordinator for their annual UU Women's Retreat, Dana has been invited into the role of program lead at Murray Grove. Dana is thrilled to develop and support robust programming that aligns with UU values and Murray Grove's mission of radical hospitality. You can contact Dana at programs@murraygrove.org. Video of today's service will be available on YouTube channel later today. If you care to tweet during today's service, you can use the hashtags #UUCSJS. To those gathered live on Facebook, we welcome your comments as well as your joys and sorrows on that platform. Please remember that this video will be on the internet, so do not share information best kept private. Before we go on, we are trying something different today with the announcements at the beginning of the service rather than at the end. Here are the few announcements for this week. We will hold Blue Jeans Sunday on May 7th, right after the service. The work needed includes dusting, scrubbing windows, yard work, and mulch spreading. A few folks who aren't afraid of heights are needed to help with some tall items. Contact Barbara Miller or Richard Schurig for more information. There will be no coffee hour that week, but lunch will be provided to the volunteers. If you borrow the book Defund Fear by Zach Norris from our RE library, please finish it quickly and return it so others can read it too. There will be a faith action meeting on Zoom this coming Monday evening, April 17th at 6:30. There are some auction events scheduled for May and June that have some unsold space that may purchase. Opportunities include a lovely brunch in Janet Longo's garden, Helen and Paul Utz's famous wine tasting with a full course dinner and wine selected for each course, a chance to visit the Connors Native Plant Garden and observe various pollinators there, a chance to make your own jewelry with Debbie DeGarvarian instructing you. Please visit the back tables to see a fuller description and follow the instructions to sign up. The Program Council meeting, also known as Leadership Council, will be held downstairs after the service. A special thanks to Barbara Morell for organizing the yard cleanup and the volunteers that helped. Welcome to worship.
Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover, or leaving. Come,
Good morning, friends. My name is Minister Dana Moore, and I use she, her pronouns. Our opening words today come from Lao Tzu. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. And if there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. I'd like to invite Colby to join us and light our chalice.
Please join me in reading the chalice lighting words in your order of service. We light our chalice this morning, grateful for the love that we experience in this beloved community. May the flame light the way for all who seek your guidance. Please rise now in body or spirit and sing our gathering hymn 1009, Meditation on Breathing. We will now light the children's religious education lantern. We light this lantern for our children and youth and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lighted in each of us, honoring the light each of us brings into the world, rejoicing in the community that we create together. The children will now collect donations for local food pantries, animal shelters, and the Coalition Against Rape and Abuse.
With wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn stay out. That's what that sounded like when the door closed. And I didn't mean that.
A book is provided in the foyer in which you are invited to write whatever joys and sorrows you have as you enter. I will now read what you have shared. We are happy to see Colby back, as she does so much here. We miss her when she was not.
Yeah, amen.
Welcome back. Let us share a quiet time together to reflect upon our week. During the musical interview, you may come forward and place a pebble in the water to acknowledge a personal joy or sorrow.
At this, you're the best.
Will you take a moment and pray with me? Please join me in a moment of holy meditation. Spirit of life and love that streams through each of us. Gracious God of our individual understandings. Be with us in this moment. Draw near, close enough that we may feel your presence, your spirit, and remember that we are each connected in love through the energy, the spirit of love and life that courses through each of us. Holy Mother, Father, brother, sister, kin, be present to our aches, our pains, our joys and celebrations. May the music of our hearts be sung through our lips, hummed through our bodies, and reach those in need. Those who need to know that they are loved and not alone. Those who need to feel our love. Those who we wish to extend our love, grace, and compassion to. Great Spirit, help us to radiate love in our hearts, our minds, our words, our being, and our simple, gracious presence. All these things we pray in the name of that which we hold most dear. Amen.
Today's response, we are going to bring out There Is a Love. I apologize if I didn't get them in the order of service, the lyric, because it's a new song, but we've been singing it, and we're going to split our choir in two, and this side of the room is going to sing the first round. First, Katie is going to sing the song so that you can hear it. The words are very simple, and I'm sure it'll come back to you, and I promise to have them in the order of service next time, because I like looking at lyrics. And yeah, can you move over to your side of the room, please? And so they're going to be in charge of that side of the room. I don't think my microphone cord is long enough. I need a double microphone. I need one of those fancy cord mics. You can see me, right?
Yeah, I could see you. I could see you, Gina.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that
was very groovy.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Every week we take up an offering during our service. It's good to remind ourselves from time to time that the offering is symbolic as well as practical. We know that it is through pledges that we build our budget and fund our yearly programs and ministries of worship and religious education, pay our staff and professional religious leaders, and finance the comfort and beauty of our building. If this is your first time visiting us today, please feel free to let the basket pass, as your presence is gift enough. For those who are participating online, please visit uucsjs.org and click on the yellow button to donate for ways to donate. Our offering says that the act of giving is as essential to our spiritual well-being as anything else we do here on Sunday mornings. The morning offering will now be given and received in the spirit of grateful fellowship.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Our reading today is Organic Multi-Religiosity is Happening Now, a kaleidoscopic compendium of writings by Sheikh Ibrahim Baba and Dr. Ibrahim Abdurrahman Farajajeh. At the end of the reading, we will enter a time of silent contemplation concluded by the ringing of the bell. If wines can be complex and deliciously layered, why can't our religious identities also embody mixities and fluidities without automatically being interpreted as confusion and boundary blurring? Some borders are already blurred because they are actually not even there. The interdependent web of all being reminds us that we are called to be multi-issue, multifocal, multi-layered, because we are multi-issue people. I believe that to engage in studies of religions is to participate in a global, holistic process, one that engages the entire person in relationship to the environment, to other people, and to whatever it is they call, or don't call, the divine. And I also believe that it calls us to be radically engaged in the healing of the universe. In a world of either-or thinking, academic versus practical, the study of religions presented itself as something that contains its own norms. Within those norms, special things like race, gender, class, geography, embodiment, disabilities, etc., can only be dealt with in special units. My dream is that if we gradually begin to create revolutionary queered, holistic, multifocal, multimedia, multi-layered, multi-locational, intersectional contexts, we will begin to open up liberatory, decolonizing spaces. Multi-religious education calls all of us beyond the borders of the schoolhouse and into engagement with the world in liberatory ways which allow for greater wholeness and greater global justice. Whether we are doing this work with Soulfi mystics in Turkey, or on the trail of Waldensian tradition in Italy, or in Amazonian deepening our experience of shamanism, we are working towards the healing of the earth, the healing of the universe. We are weaving the tapestry of the counter-oppressive and the multi-religious. We are diving deep into the cave of the heart. We are witnessing the intelligence of the heart, the intelligence descending into the cave of the heart.
I could find the whole meaning of life in those sad eyes. They sing things that you never quite say, but I hear. Come out of hiding, I'm right here beside you. And I'll stay there as long as you let me. Because you matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody. You matter to me. I promise you do. You matter too. I promise you
Yes, wow. Thank you, thank you. I love that song. It is one of my favorites. And when I shared this sermon with my home congregation, our musicians sang it live. And I wasn't expecting that. And I was a blubbering mess up at the podium. But it was so dear and so special. The lyrics and music of that song, You Matter to Me, are just so beautiful. And the message is simple and plain and not much to ask from someone. Just a simple declaration of caring and concern. You matter to me. I've loved this song for years. And it was inspired by a movie in 2007 called Waitress and adapted into a Broadway play by the artist Sarah Bareilles, who I also happen to love. And I've been singing the Waitress soundtrack for years. But this song took on new meaning for me in 2020 during the pandemic and the June 2020 race riots. There was a lot going on then, a lot of painful reconciling that our nation continues to do. But do you want to know the biggest message that I heard and shared during that time? It was that you matter. Not all lives matter, not that blue lives matter or black lives matter, which they absolutely do. I mean, I dare you to spend some time with me and my loved ones and tell me that we do not matter. But that's beside the point. I was so full of angst at that time of the pandemic, worried for friends, grieving loved ones, uncertain about my own family's health and security. And then I watched George Floyd take his last breath. And as a mother of a black son in America, I was distraught, so hurt to hear him cry out for his mother. In June of 2020, I was so emotionally drained that I could not attend the protests or even read the organizing emails for efforts initiated by my congregation to address the now global headlines and griefs. I had to have a conversation with my ministers and say, this is too much for me. I cannot be in a position of leadership at this moment. I have to tend to my own spirit and remind my children that they are loved. I have to recreate the bounds of safety and belief that will sustain me right now. And though it was verbalized and affirmed in innumerable ways, no one said to me, Black Lives Matter. They said, Dana, you matter. This matters. And what matters most is how you feel. Everyone's experience of the pandemic is layered and unique, like that reading Jack shared. I'm sure we all took different steps at that time because everyone needs something different to be okay. For me, it was having my feelings validated, witnessed and affirmed after this experience and interaction with the world that might have me believe that I did not matter. It was having a whole community of people saying, we will do the work that is ours to do because we love you. We are willing to search our hearts and systems so that you may be included in an even wider circle of love. Rest, dear one. I needed that so much, and it was so strengthening for me that once I breathed in that peace, I dove deep and nestled into my own love bubble where the true nature of Dana is liberated in thought and action. And I asked, who is loving my LGBTQ brothers and sisters and kin right now? Who is highlighting the bridge that connects us and our experiences, the constant struggle for rights, worth, and dignity? I'm way too tender to touch this. And I don't have to because those who can are. But this, remembering and tending to my queer kin, is something I can do. Because once love is welcomed and present and stirring within, there's nowhere else for it to go but out, again and again. Like breathing, love is a cycle, dependent on both the intake and the output, the inhale and the exhale. When I breathe in peace. Peace that my community is holding space for me. When I breathe out love. Love that says, you matter too, and just might bring some peace to another. So I matter, and you matter. And I want to be clear about this because when I matter to you, you matter to me. It is a cycle. As Unitarian Universalists, I feel like this is such a foundational concept because we are so wrapped up and tied up in each other's existence and well-being. I know that in order for everyone to be okay, you must be okay. And in order for everyone to feel loved and be loved, you must also feel and be loved, because you are part of the equation too. Your loving and being loved grows our collective capacity to love even more. We must be willing to include ourselves in our healing circles of love. Now, here's something that I really grapple with. There are people in this world who believe they do not deserve love, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to know that there are people, even in this room and on these screens, in so much pain that they believe they don't deserve forgiveness, redemption, compassion, be it from God, our neighbor, or our kin. And these false beliefs arise from so many places: parents, school, history, religion, so many factors that can influence our personal thoughts and beliefs and whole sects of people. And again, this lack of love is cyclical and dependent on our ability to receive love and give love, which is heavily influenced by the beliefs we form when interacting with the world. Suppose you are blocked or restricted from loving in some way. The love you give to another may be devoid of that quality that you are not accepting of. That same element of love that you've been missing. Now, don't get me wrong, we are still really great at loving, because even if we don't feel love for ourselves, we know what we desire to give to others. We take our own worries, hurts, and pains and turn them around so that others don't have to experience them. Personally, that's my whole philosophy on parenthood. I just think back to my childhood and I think, I didn't really love that experience. What can I do differently for my children? for my family. So we search our hearts, our minds, and our religious doctrine. We ask ourselves, is this way of being a true expression of the love I desire for myself and others? If this action brings me pain, would that also bring pain to others? When we hold on to pain and harsh judgment of ourselves, we are actively hurting ourselves. Left unattended, that internalized pain becomes normalized. So when we dole it out to others, we don't recognize that we are perpetuating pain, because pain, trauma, and abuse are also cycles. In his book, My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies, Resmaa Menakem reminds us that our nation's settlers and creators of the abusive and oppressive systems that we work so diligently to dismantle today came here with their own histories of trauma. He talks of the violence that white bodies experienced at the hands of white bodies in the Middle Ages, when punishments were corporal and harsh, and it wasn't uncommon to see humans tarred and feathered in the streets, and much, much worse. He shares how their trauma was so deeply internalized that the cycle continued even here in America and shifted from white bodies to red bodies to black bodies and so on. We all bring a unique history and experience to our brand of love. That understanding and search for righteousness in the way that we love is what expands it. On the journey, we inevitably find or create new and different ways of loving and being together. We explore cultures and lifestyles and find meaning in what is shared between us. For love of one another, we fearlessly dive deep into what Ibrahim Baba calls the cave of the heart. In the song, Kate sang, "It's addictive the minute you let yourself think. The things that I say just might matter to someone." And let me remind you, friends, the things that you say do matter. Can you imagine how much it matters that my son hears his very white congregation say that Black lives matter? Can you imagine the void that would exist in his little heart if he didn't hear those words? He's much bigger now than 2020 when this was happening. And his heart has grown, his love has grown by being in community that affirms his being and who he is. So it is necessary to acknowledge the harm and lack of love in what we say and do. If we didn't, we wouldn't be the Unitarian Universalist faith that we are today. Universalism was founded on the belief that eventually everyone would be saved, regardless of their past or present wrongdoings. And that includes our ancestors, who made some very harmful choices. It matters that John Murray brought this novel idea to our budding nation. It matters that he was courageous enough to say, "You are eternally loved." It liberated the minds and spirits of so many people and expanded our reach as a then Christian faith. It helped us to evolve and gain a deeper understanding of our personal mission, the nature of God and the holy. It reminded us that those who came before us and those who will follow will travel divergent paths that ultimately lead us all to the same place. It gave us permission to dive into that dark, mysterious cave of the heart, to search and explore and find what is right for each of us. Without these freedoms, now and then, we would surely die. Our ancestors died on stakes and in ditches for their beliefs, that each person, black, white, brown, gay, straight, queer, Hindu, Muslim, or Jew, left-handed, red-headed, or susceptible to disease, that each person was born with inherent worth and dignity, each holy and each deserving of a life of liberty, justice, and the love of a world community. They knew that each individual, based on their circumstance and exposure to the world, would experience life asymmetrically and journey a different route to the holy. They believed that in the end, it is the journey of life that steers our hearts to a holy place. This life-saving idea of universalism is not limited only to our faith and spirituality, but our health as well. Consider this. There are over 150 different kinds of medication on the market for diabetes. Diabetes, one disease, 4 types, 159 different types of medication. Why so many? If we applied the ideals of our Judeo-Christian ancestors on spiritual solution, we should only require one. But when our physical bodies fail us and one medical solution does not work, we don't shame and sentence each other to an eternity of misery. That's not how we operate, because every body, every physiology, every being is distinct and needs something different to survive. What might work for one could surely kill another. So we find precisely what is right for each of us. And if we can't find it, we make it. We create it. We learn and explore. We test and combine. We compare notes to develop the solution that will heal and help to make one another well, our brothers, our sisters, our kin. These are all acts of love, are they not? Our ancestors, imperfect as they may be, have risked their lives to love us so thoroughly. The idea that only some would or could be saved is a heavy burden to carry. And it undoubtedly contributes to the cycle of pain that so many experience in conflict with their religious beliefs. Universalism does not tell us that there is only one way. It says that every liberated soul knows the way. Just as we require various medications to sustain our physical bodies, we require something different to sustain our spiritual bodies. And every person deserves to have what they need. Is this not how we ensure that every being can make the journey to that holy place? Acknowledging our varied histories and spiritual lineages, and allowing ourselves and each other to seek out, learn, practice, and own what is authentic to our individual spirits is what we call organic multi-religiosity. For me, it's acknowledging that my ancestors were not only African, Native American, and Japanese, but also Irish, Jewish, Russian, Welsh, and English, and many more. It's acknowledging that my spirit soars when she encounters a Hebrew prayer. It makes sense that I cried unceasingly through my first Shabbat after my mother converted to Judaism. My soul, my spirit was so happy that she was home, that someone was speaking her mother tongue, and blessing her in a spiritual language that she longed for, without my knowing. It's not a mystery that I am a Unitarian Universalist. It's not surprising that I chose to become a member of a liberal religious faith that values all religious walks of life to find beauty, truth, and meaning. My old soul, who has lived many, many lives, asks that I engage the faiths of my ancestors to find greater understanding and compassion for myself and others who struggle to find deep connection and love in the world. Now, this wasn't demanded of me by any religious organization or leader, which I guess I find pretty faulty. It arose naturally, organically, in my own descent into the cave of my heart. Ibrahim Baba says that when we take that dive, we are weaving the tapestry of counter-oppressive and multi-religious. We are witnessing the intelligence of the heart. Some months ago, as I was writing this sermon at Murray Grove, which happens to be the home of Universalism in America, it is where John Murray landed when his ship went astray and stayed docked for many days. It is where he met Thomas Potter, who 10 years earlier had already built a chapel for someone to come and preach a message of love and universal salvation. On those grounds, over 250 years old, I felt connected to my spiritual ancestors. Spiritual ancestors who may never would have believed that I would be standing here today in this space as a spiritual leader and learner. These lands that today welcome children and youth, adults and people of all ages, sizes, backgrounds to find community, to love one another and practice kindness together. When I was writing this sermon on those lands, I reached out to my ministerial mentor, the Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson, and I asked how Universalism calls us to deeper love in the world. And she said, I quote, "I feel like deep love calls me to Universalism. I feel like it's the other way around. My truth of the world, my truth of existence, that we are all called to be in loving relationship with everything, is what calls me to Universalism." End quote. When we deepen our love and widen our circle of love, we're able to include more people. Love within opens us up to the love surrounding us and the awareness of where love is lacking. We, faithful believers in love, have the power to amplify it and watch it grow with a simple breath. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out love. Friends, let us widen our circles of love and allow our hearts to create a holy space together. Our closing hymn today is number 108 in your turquoise hymnals, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place."
Please rise in body, spirit, either or both. And thank you to the choir for getting up early and out today to go over some of these songs. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy
our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of a sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. Sorry, let me.
Our closing words are by Carrie McDonald and Teresa Cooley, and it is titled, Love is Hard. Love is hard.
Love for people, especially those who are different from you.
Love that says, I see you as a person.
Love that says, let your unique light shine in the world because each of our souls touches the divine mystery.
Love that says, we are on a journey together and my fate is tied up with yours.
Love that grabs you and won't let you go until your whole life is dedicated to siding with love.
Love that changes the world.
Love is hard.
Do it anyway.
Let's read the words together for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Run to me. Why don't you run to me? We could swim in love's mystery. Far away. Why must you be so far away? Our bodies so close, yet your heart
you come and dance with me? I offer peace and understanding. Take a dip into my sea. The water is warm, so inviting. Da, 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 ba, da, ba,
We warmly welcome all of you who are visiting us today. Parents are encouraged to stay for the final moments of the worship and to retrieve their children from downstairs after the bell has sounded. Join us next Sunday for the Reverend Dr. Richard Speck speaking on a renewable universalism for the 21st century. The Reverend Dr. Richard Speck is a retired district executive for the Joseph Priestley District of the UUA. He was named Minister Emeritus in 2019. Previously, he served 9 years as minister to the UU Fellowship of Vero Beach, Florida, before coming to the JPD in 2000 as acting district executive. In his last 2 years in Florida, he also served as a musical director for the church. He graduated from Meadville Lombard Theological School with a doctorate in ministry in 1990. He was hired as the regular district executive in 2001. He served 14 years as a district executive before retiring from full-time ministry in 2014. Richard continues to be active in social justice programs like Black Lives Matter and the Coalition to Dismantle the New Jim Crow in Delaware. He's married to Janet Tillman and resides in Wilmington, Delaware. He enjoys making music, flying his own airplane, and creating stained glass art. Now let us share in a moment of silent reflection to consider today's message and the meaning it has for in our lives.